Good morning and welcome to the Thursday edition of your morning show, Inside Nigeria, reaching your leadership television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, and it sure feels good to be hosting you on today's Thursday, 23 November 2023. And as you can see, as always on the program, we have an array of newspapers for review during this first segment of the show. And of course, we always start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. My name is Winifred Ugbebo. Once again, welcome to the show. Leadership's leading story says lawyers demand merit in selection of Supreme Court justice. Lawyers demand merit in selection of Supreme Court justice. Warn against sacrificing competence for politics, nepotism. Confirm unwritten code in selection process. That's the leading story on leadership. And of course, we have a pictorial Kano stand still for Governor Abba Kabi Yusuf on arrival from Abuja. It's a promo advert. From that, we move to the stories above the masthead. Kano parties asked to return judgment copies. This is a developing story since the news broke 2 days ago that the CTC of the appeal court judgment also raised some concerns over the judgment that was given. From leadership cover, we move to page 3 of the paper. Our stand today is on blazing a trail in university system. From page 3, we move to the back page of the paper, being blunt with Mwazu Elazi. He's the GMD of leadership, and he's talking on Spare Me This Talk about bankruptcy. You want to find out more and the continuation of the headline stories as you log on to the website of leadership, www.leadership.ng. From leadership, we move to the Punch, where controversy still rages over the Kano appeal court judgment. And the Punch says Kano poll controversy. Police NNP protesters clash, more cloud over judgment. Kano poll controversy. Police NNPP protesters clash, more cloud over judgment. Court APC blame clerical error. NNPP Labour Party insists judgment doctored. Yusuf heads for Supreme Court, says appeal court lacks jurisdiction to determine party membership. Beneath that leading story, we have pictorial on soldiers, like call it unrest in Adamawa. Of course, the story for the picture says Finitri, that is the Adamawa state governor, intervenes as soldiers kill inspector in Adamawa. The story continues on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. Senate passes MTEF to probe tax waivers under Buhari. Senate passes MTEF, medium-term extraordinary framework to probe tax waivers under Buhari. Tinubu Bago mourn as 17 die in Niger crash. Bono shots IDP camp, sends 100,000 back home. Bono shots IDP camp, sends 100,000 back home. The story is on page 3 of the Punch. And above the masthead, we have Niger junta sues Tinubu ECOWAS, court rules December 7. Fresh naira scarcity hits Kano, Sokoto, Edo, others. Federal government slashes wage award by 100 billion naira. Labor kicks. From the Punch, Vanguard is next. Vanguard is still on the development story in Kano. It says Kano will stand by a verdict sacking Governor Yusuf, appeal court. Kano will stand by a verdict sacking Governor Yusuf, appeal court. NNPP files appeal at Supreme Court, wants NJC to probe appeal court's judgment. In CCTC confirms its candidate Yusuf won on appeal. There's no confusion, APC demands CTC of appeal court judgment. Appeal court registrar dismisses controversy trailing CTC of judgment, says it's clerical error. Protest rocks Kano. Israel-Hamas conflict has gone from war to terrorism, Pope Francis. Above that, we have Ondo political crisis. Intervene now, Fasoranti, Falaye, order Tinubu. 2023 Edo Ebonyi Anambra top list of electoral offenders. Federal government to drive tax through enforcement of laws. Wife deserve to be listed in Guinness World Records. Tinubu. Apapa gridlock. Truckers defy Sanwo-Olu's directive. Return block road. Alleged procurement fraud. SCBN Governor Emefiele gets 300 million naira bail. That is headline stories on Vanguard today, Thursday, November 23, 2023. From Vanguard, we move to THISDAY. THISDAY says, Mayor errors blight appeal court judgment in Kano, create crisis of judicial confidence. Mayor errors blight appeal court judgment in Kano, create crisis of judicial confidence. Tension rises as controversial CTC circulates in Kano metropolis. NNPP protest urges NJC to review ruling, says document doctored to favor position. Court will clarify errors, declares APC. More oil gas assets for sale as Tinubu approves conduct of fresh marginal feed bid round. The story continues on page 6 of THISDAY, and from THISDAY we move to the next paper on our menu, which is The Guardian. The Guardian's leading story says poor funding raises concerns for 270 new private universities. More varsities, less research output, quality. Total number of universities may rise to 528, among which 418 are private owned. Between 2018 and 2022, over 5 million candidates who applied for admission were unable to secure placement. Out of 1.8 million candidates who applied in 2022, about 600,000, representing 33.3%, were admitted. These are the headline stories on The Guardian today. Poor funding raises concerns for 270 new private varsities. That's the headline exclusive story on the cover. And beneath that, we have tension in Kano over Guba verdict as Akeredolu Ayedatiwa crisis rocks Ondo. Senate laments cyber threats to digital economy, $500 million yearly loss. Court grants Emefiele 300 million naira bail, order CBN to update CSO on e-naira. Over 200 billion naira exchange rates differential pushes FASC disbursement to 906.96 billion naira. Adelabu aviation safety and profligacy of public officials. That is the editorial on page 12 of The Guardian today. Adelabu aviation safety and profligacy of public officials. Governor Fubara opens 2 world-class health facilities, and of course it comes with a pictorial on the cover of The Guardian. And with that, we've come to the end of The Guardian newspaper's review today, Thursday, November 23, 2023. For more on The Guardian, log on to the website www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move to the last paper we have on our menu, and that is Daily Sun. Daily Sun says Kano, Anambra, Osun, Edo top 2023 electoral offenders list. 187 lawyers, 16 SANs to begin prosecution of suspects. 1,076 arrested in 35 states. We have supply to last beyond Christmas. Kyari tells Senate. Akpabio pledges support for NNPLC. Southeast calls for criminal justice reform in Nigeria. Federal government moves to unlock $300 billion in deed capital via land reforms. Court declares Buhari's appointment of FCCC's chair secretary unlawful. Also fourth Senate confirmation. Former CBN Governor Emefiele gets 300 million naira bail. And the last story beside the masthead says Kano Guba NNPP protest urges NJC to review court rulings. Appeal court admits clerical error in judgment body. Pressure on justices responsible for typographical error, says APC. Police for protest. So with that, we've come to the end of today's first segment of the show, newspaper review, where we review some headline stories of some select newspapers this Thursday, November 23, 2023. And don't go away. Shortly, we are coming with the second segment of the show. Of course, we have our Thursday guest already in the house. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the program is Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. It's your breakfast show where we review and discuss developing headline stories. My name is Winifred Weber once again, and of course, it's with great pleasure to welcome my Thursday guest. He is a public affairs analyst and a political economist, Adefolari Olamilekan.
Thanks for
so
having
much
me.
once again.
Very good morning.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you.
So what's been happening? There's developing story. The news broke 2 days ago, and of course, when I first saw it, I found it difficult to believe that in CTC judgment of the appeal court there were some clerical errors, and this is what is causing chaos and protests as we speak in Kano.
I think someone want to be smart among the judicial staffs. They are full of injustice. Even though the court registrar have come out to say, oh, it's just a clerical error. Maybe what they're trying to point out is let's just say typographical error, simply typographical error. So you're now using the big grammar to also confuse Nigerians.
And you know, in the CTC, sorry to cut you short, CTC, it's apart from confirming the candidate, it also even awarded cost against the APC candidate, awarded cost of 1 million naira for Abba Yusuf.
I think that was the flip of the judgment.
So what could have happened? Where did they now read their judgment from?
The issue is that what they read was flipped the other way around.
Okay.
The 1 million was awarded against the sitting Kano State governor, not the APC. But in the CTC and you can see that it was the Kano State Commissioner of Justice that came out with the CTC and said, hey, this is what we have. And we were like, how come you quickly read out this? Then the Court of Appeal have to respond and say, no.
But they're admitting that there was error. But why would there be error in the first place?
That is why the APC and other political parties are calling for a probe. And that's why I said from the start of this discussion.
Because the CTC, as seen by all, was actually duly signed by the registrar of the appeal. So you can't say that it was maybe an AI generated CTC. So this is a CTC that emanated. Remember, shortly after the judgment, the NNPP demanded for the CTC, which was eventually given to them. And then at the end of it, they would see that the CTC has mere clerical errors.
Not only that, the moment the judgment came out, NNPP quickly filed a 10-count charge against the judgment, meaning that they already admitted that this is gone. So when the commissioner now brought out the cities and said, everyone like, you guys have already gone ahead to Supreme Court.
Because that's what they were acting based on the verbal judgment.
So
and now going perusing through the cities,
exactly, they saw something else different. Yes. So they now bring to the point that,
but with all this that is happening, what is happening to the judiciary? This moves us to the next question. What is happening to the judiciary? Many people, or many Nigerians, are so disenchanted, and many are saying that in Nigeria now, justice is for sale.
I may not join those set of people to quickly condemn the judiciary on that leg, because for me, it's not just the judges that have been issued. Even the workers in the judiciary themselves, Like in this case, for me, it's more like interrogating the worker who participated at the judgment trial issue and who did the typing and the rest of them. Because at the end of the day, I said someone wants to be smart, including the registrar. And I know maybe not too long from now, he may be asked to go and arrest because this fall under his purview. He would have had a third eye reading through. He would have had a third eye reading.
Where is the judgment that the appeal court judges read from, and why wasn't it embedded in the CTC and the one that was given out to NNPP?
That's why they quickly say it's more like clinical error, meaning it was a typographical error.
It's a costly error that everybody's beginning to say, oh, what is happening? Laying credence to what I just said, that many Nigerians are of the opinion that justice now is for sale.
You know one good thing is that the media houses that gave that report were sound media houses. They would have written something different from the verbal information they got from the judge. It was on Sunday. It was on Saturday. And they reported it, including News Agency of Nigeria, Voice of Nigeria, Radio Federal, competent government station and private media reported it, update on it. So I don't think what the media reported was different from what the judges said. But what I'm trying to put out is that there could be someone who wants to be smarter on this typographical error or clinical error.
But why should there be typographical error or clerical error?
Definitely.
I'm asking, why must there be?
Our focus has been on the judges, but most of us are forgetting that the workers in those judiciary environment also are participating in the corruption or whatever you want to accuse the judges of, because that is just what has happened. Because first and foremost, when the Commissioner of Justice of Kano State was reading out and saying what, everyone was like, this is different. But before you know it, Court of Appeal quickly responded and said, no, that is not what was given at the verdict. Then now maybe they check back on their document and saw that.
But whether the denial is made or it was separate, but the fact remains that judgment was already there.
Definitely, it was already there, but it's something that we just need, as they have said, let them probe the entire administrative aspect of who were involved in the picking up all what the judgment was all about, and let us see what happened at the end. Because as it is now, Nigeria will be angry against the judges, but not just the judges again, including the judiciary workers themselves, including the man that signed it, who is the court registrar.
No, many Nigerians they don't really know. They always like to hold the head responsible. But in this instance, the judge is responsible. They are big court responsible. Anyway, as we wait and await the outcome of the probe, let's hope that normalcy will return in Kano. Well, let's move over to the Guardian's leading story today. Poor funding raises concerns for 270 new private varsities. Now, Nigeria has over about total number of varsities about 528, which is quite huge, among which 418 are private.
Funding
and it's so ironical that despite this large number of universities in Nigeria, many students don't get admission. At the end of the day, many candidates don't get admission.
It falls back to the courses they are applying. You must look at that. It falls back to the courses they are applying for. It also falls back to the courses that these universities are also offering. It's not all of them that are offering all the entire, almost like 112 courses that university offer in Nigeria. It's not all of them. Then again, students also have choices of areas they want to go to school. You get it? Most of the school in the southern part of the country get good numbers of applicants than the school in the northern part of the country. So it also falls into that. And again, the failure rate in those examinations also calls for concern. Although we still doing that aspect, and again, just like what Jam was pointing out the other day, that there's admission criteria among universities, especially these top flight universities that students are always applying to. There's admission criteria that we need to correct that. It's also playing but we also need to encourage students to look elsewhere from big flight universities. It's not until you go to federal university, state university, although the funding, school fees also play out.
Yes.
School fees also play out because there are some schools they don't offer law. Even if they're offering, they may not get approval from NUC. There are some schools they don't offer medicine or pharmacy. Those are top flight courses that people also apply for.
Yes.
Exactly. It's also play a good role in it. So I just hope that the private university can also get the courses they want to offer to students, and they have the funding backing for it.
Now, talking about new private varsities, many people are of the opinion that yes, private universities offer better, seamless
Academic
education, yes, section for students. But however, talking about the high rate of school fees they pay, skyrocketing, is quite huge, and many, because I was opportune to join some private students in a vehicle going to traveling one of these in those days, and they were of the opinion that these are students, they were students actually, and they said many of them that school in private universities, they don't get to fail because considering the huge amount they pay as school fees.
Exactly.
So how will you pair that up with federal university?
It's true that it happens, but I don't want to say it is entirely true that they don't fail. Some of them still have carryover courses. Not all of them that went to university and come out with first class or second class or third class. But the thing is that the numbers of people who scale into the second class lower will be more than the number of people that, if you want to compare it to federal university or state university. Because, and again, this set of students are well taken care of when it comes to practical, when it comes to the teaching, when it comes to the lecture, and when it comes to the exposure. It's not like the public university that they are not exposed apart from teaching them. You go and hustle and read and do your research by yourself. But in private university, they give them enhanced teaching aids that also help them. They have access to internet, they have access to computer, they have access to e-libraries and the rest of them. So they also have opportunity to even compete and international curriculum activities that will help them to enhance their knowledge and activity. So the private university, the money is expensive, but we get the best in terms of getting one-on-one. How we normally put in education, a teacher to student ratio increase or enhancement. That's what happened in private university. But the public university, they are also good. We can't condemn the public. They are also enhanced. Majority in public university, we have more students who may go there as a result of, oh, I'm an investor of Ibadan, I'm an investor of Lagos. So that peer pressure and that anxiety that I'm in a very top flight university also take a shadow of them, and that's why you don't see much of them doing very well after like 2-3 years, especially those ones that come from a very upper class. After 2-3 years, they will just go abroad and complete their education.
Well, thank you so much. Recently, the DJ of NASETM did raise the alarm that there are no more vocational schools. For instance, there is no more vocation in Nigeria. He was of the opinion that many vocational institutions have converted to universities, and you know there's a big gap between what vocational schools institutions offers and universities, and of course this was quite lamentable according to him. What do you have to talk about? Because he even made mention of Nigerian Defense Academy, which has become a university, and even Yaba Tech of recently now wants to be a university, and we see even our polytechnic, they are supposed to offer vocational studies, but at the end of the day, we are not seeing that in the turnout, in the output of graduates that are being trained up.
It's because of the system have accepted the theoretical aspect of education than the practical aspect of education, particularly the vocational, the technical college, the ones that will give you the competence in terms of how to use tools, how to manipulate tools. Even this innovation that the government is talking about, even this creativity, digital economy the government is talking about. It is through this vocational education we can get it. How they are listening to us, they are watching us. That the ICT, the creativity economy, the digital economy they're talking, they should put pressure and put more attention on polytechnic and technical college that will help them to enhance that. But we are focused on theoretical aspect, and that's why we have lost it. I know there's a particular polytechnic, national polytechnic, federal polytechnic, you see doing that vocational education, they still give essence to practical issue, but almost of them are turning to theoretical aspect, that because the system, the environment is accepting more theory than practical, and that's why we have found ourselves in this development,
which is really sad. So what is the way forward?
I think practically the way forward is for government to look at the educational curriculum. We should pay more emphasis on technical education. Although most of us go through theoretical education, which is normally called the offline of science and tech. I'm talking about the social science management that both of us went through. But the science and the technical aspect is quite interesting in the sense that the world is going through technology development, and we need those technical knowledge to enhance and support the social science and management science, because social science and management is to support the technical aspect, to enhance it, and that's why developed countries pay more attention. Although in our own system we have a situation where they say it's 40-60, that is 40 science, 60 social science or management, but we think we should balance it. It could be 50-50 in terms of admission, but again, the mindset of our young ones. What is their mindset? They are all also being exposed to content creator on social media, so they are forgetting that if you are doing it, you want to learn coding. It's a technical thing.
Yes.
But if you don't have a background knowledge in computer, which is more technical, there's no way you can learn coding. But they are learning easy because social media have made it so easy, including video editing. They are all part and parcel of technical issue. But as it is now, it has been made so easy with social media entry into development space, and it has made it so difficult that for them to say, okay, go back to polytechnic or go back to technology, invest in technology. They say no. After somebody that read history is the richest man in
exactly. One is a DG, one is a banker. That is the situation we are having.
Exactly.
And of course, the DG of NASA time said they have to bridge that gap. Anyway, back to another trending topic is fresh naira scarcity hits Kano, Sokoto, Edo, others. What are we having? Since last week, we've had that same report. And the CBN was mandated to issue. Of course, the case has already gone to Supreme Court to revert itself. So definitely, what are we saying?
Definitely, the Supreme Court will revert it. That one is secure. But what I see is that a lot of people are making, taking advantage of what is happening, especially people that we have that have now discovered that naira as a commodity can be turned into a means of profit. In my community yesterday, someone was telling me that I went to buy cash. I said, how will you buy cash?
You want to buy cash?
I said, how will you buy cash? I said, they will arrest you for this because even have been making noise for the past 1 month that old naira or new naira continue. But you know what I discovered? The banks in the suburb areas are the one causing this problem. Even in Kano that we are talking about, it is the bank in the suburb areas. I can give example of banks in Maraba, Kefi. They are the one causing this problem. If you go to banks in the city center like Abuja, they won't tell you they don't have cash to give you. I interrogated 3 POS guys this morning before I came to the show, and they told me no, they went to bank and collect cash. But when you ask people in the satellite area of Abuja or the satellite area or suburb area in Nassau, they will tell you that POS will tell you that they don't have cash. And you wonder why. And they will tell you that if they go to the bank in Maraba or in Nyanya, they can't get it because the bank in those suburbs, CBN is not monitoring them. CBN is not monitoring them. They are focusing on the bank in the central area in their zonal headquarters, and this is what is causing the problem. So I just hope that CBN will spread its tentacles beyond the banks in the urban center to this rural area or suburb area, so they can monitor what they are doing, because these are the guys that are causing the problem. For even 1 month now.
Even some banks in the metropolis, or what do you call it, they also hoarded.
They are hoarding it. They know what they are doing.
A few months ago, one of the banks, Generation Banks, was dispensing Crips new naira. We begin to wonder, where did this money come from? Crips, meaning that they hoarded all this while.
And what CBN is trying to say is that even though you want to hold the money, their own is that old naira, new naira, spend it. It doesn't have a deadline. I think that's what I have been passing to people.
I think the federal government has gone to Supreme Court to revert
it, or stay of execution of the judgment.
Yes.
Because the judgment says 31st of December. So they will. What they are going for is stay of execution of judgment.
For it to continue.
And they will stay of execution means that 31st date will be stamped on. It won't take any effect. Then the judge will now give another pronouncement
that we should just continue. Well, thank you so much. With these viewers, we've come to the end of today's Thursday edition of the program Inside Nigeria. It's a breakfast show reaching you on Leadership Television. Of course, I've had with me in the studio a political economist and also a public affairs analyst, Olamileko Adefolaro. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me.
My name is Winifred Ugwebo. Until we come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. Yes, wish you a beautiful day. See you.